Hello again, Sean. Welcome back to the podcast.
Hi Taylor, how's it going?
Good. How was your couple of weeks in between recording?
Oh, very, very illuminating, very fruitful couple of weeks. Felt like it was only 10 minutes, really. It's been
Wow,
flown by
man, absence makes the heart grow fonder, doesn't
something like that.
it? I guess we can just get sort of straight into it. Let's get the plug in first. Tell us about booze and crack.
Oh shit, I didn't do the research of what I was doing. Yeah, so we've got booze and crack shows coming up in August. We can probably
You don't have to tell the exact dates. I'll just put the links in the show notes, but just tell us what the show is.
then I won't give you the exact dates. Yeah, so the show is it's arranged, hosted by Alan McElroy, who's a very funny, talented, humble, nice, handsome guy based up in Auckland, Irish comedian. Through his kind of company, Crack Up Comedy Nights, and it's basically Irish and Scottish comedians traveling around the country and just giving New Zealand a bit of a taste of our slant on comedy, which is just a lot of storytelling, swearing, and a couple of drunken debauchery nights as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, so I'll chuck the links to whatever pages I can find for that. I think it's Event Finder you guys use, so I'll chuck that in the show notes. But definitely get along to them and don't delay in booking. They tend to sell out, don't they?
Yeah, we did. We did a pretty good run last year. I think we did about 25 shows last year, and pretty much all sold out.
Yes. So do not waste your time getting in that.
Yeah.
So we are here today today. I've lost my ability to speak in this last 2 weeks. We're here today to talk about your tiny joys. What would be the first one on your list that you've got for us today, Sean?
I mean, how to narrow it down? These are in no specific order. Obviously, they're all equal joys for me.
It's just chronological, right? It's not in order of
Exactly. I love, when you're I love seeing genuine human interactions.
Oh.
So when you look surprised there that I was
No,
going
I'm
to say.
just I'm whenever someone tells me a tiny joy that I haven't seen ahead of time, I
Yeah.
have to really quickly do a process in my head of like, okay, what do I think that means? And
Okay.
then what does it actually mean? And then also
Yeah.
I think just how do I ask questions around this to create podcast content? So tell us, tell us
Yeah.
more.
We're seeing how the sausage is made. So I love it. I love it when you're like, for example, you're walking through a park, right? And it's like a sports field there or something. Like you see like a dad playing like with his young kid, like playing basketball, like with his young kid.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of see the fun they're having. And then you see that moment when the dad just fucking dunks on the kid. And that's the type of stuff I love, Taylor. I love seeing people get put in their place. A genuine moment like that. It's beautiful. No participation trophies in this line of work, man.
No, I should have known that by your attitude towards quiz nights, that there are there's no participation trophies.
No mercy, and just fucking dunking on that kid.
I think that's got to be an interesting experience as being a father. Like I'm not, and I don't, as far as I know, you aren't. And
I don't, no.
yeah, and
Oh,
then well, we're both cat dads. That's what's the thing that we have in common.
that is true. Yeah.
And what is your new cat's name?
Well, here's the thing, Taylor. I didn't name it, so I want to be upfront right now. So I've inherited two cats in my time in New Zealand. So a bit of background: the first cat. So my ex girlfriend. She was Australian, probably still is, and she inherited this cat. She just kind of adopted it. This little black and white, like skinny, runty cat. I'd never had cats before. Never liked them. Never trusted them. They're sneaky, right? They're snakes with legs. And
They really are.
she loved it. And this cat just kind of came into her bedroom one day and was just like went on the bed and it started drooling. We Googled it. Apparently that's like a sign that a cat is incredibly comfortable, that they're, zonked out.
Yeah.
So in her infinite creativity, she named this cat Drooly.
Yes.
Now, when my girlfriend left the country, she went back to Australia. I stayed. and therefore I inherited Drooly.
Yes.
Now, I trusted my ex in as much as she used to volunteer at the Wanaka Cat Rescue. So I assumed she knew what she was talking about when it came to cats. She told me that this cat was a young male cat. I went along with that. It was, very energetic, very playful. I don't know anything about cats. I just thought it had its nuts taken off, and that's why there weren't any, accessories.
Yeah.
One day I had to emergency take the cat to the vet because it was just being very strange and was like crying when you touched her. Found out that it was not a young male cat, but an elderly female.
Wow.
She was about 13 years old and had the equivalent of cat arthritis.
Oh, wow.
So long story long, she ended up passing away. And last year I was staying in a house where they also had a cat. They left the country and then the house is getting demolished. So it was either leave this cat to get demolished with the house or I take the cat. So I took this cat. Now, I didn't name this cat either, but Kismet being what it is, his name is Shitty. Again, I didn't name it. And he was a bit of a boisterous lad to begin with. I think, he's still a bit playful, but he's a bit bitey sometimes.
Yeah.
In a nice way.
We were speaking about this the other day. So you've had two cats named after bodily functions that you didn't name.
Shitty, yeah. So I'm just waiting for Pissy to be my next inherited cat. Actually, but Shitty's good. He's on a diet at the moment.
Hell yeah.
Because I taught him how to sit.
Wow.
He sits on command. If I click, he'll sit. But the way to do that was I would give him a little treat to encourage that, and that he's always big boned, right? He was always big boned, but now he's got more stuff around his big bones than. So he needs to drop about 1.5 kilos, and he's already lost 500 grams.
Wow,
on his diet. So he's getting there. He's getting there.
Nice, thick king. I like it. That was the thing, because I asked about Drooly kind of recently, because I've met Drooly once, very friendly cat, and this was I guess before transitioning, because you used he him pronouns when referring to Drooly.
Yeah, I was told by someone who I thought knew cats, so I went off their logic.
And then when I asked about Drooly and you said, "Oh, she passed away," I was like, "Oh, did I just misgender your cat the last time I was there?"
Yeah, the offensive part wasn't you brought up my dead cat, it's that you called it a boy. That's really what got me.
I'm going to get cancelled for that. But no, rest in power, Drooly. You're a tremendous creature the one time that I saw you. So, yeah. So I was going to say, I was going to ask, when I think one of the rights of fatherhood is that when you have to make that decision as to whether to let your child win or assert your dominance as the head of the household.
I mean, I've seen the videos where the kids are spoiled and they cry when they're losing in Monopoly or something, which is also a rite of passage. You got to lose at Monopoly to really develop as a person. If you go on a date with someone and you find out they've never lost Monopoly, you know that they probably don't have integrity as a person. They've never had to overcome the adversity of not passing go and not collecting 200.
That's right. It's character building.
I was never let to win anything.
I don't think I was either.
Character building, though, I think it encourages you to actually be more of a go-getter because you know what it takes to win.
That's right. It's like the old.
I'm looking too much into it.
What did Dirty Harry say? He was like, "Man's got to know his limitations." I feel like that's kind of just what you're doing, is you're reinforcing your child's limitations. Interesting.
I never equated Dirty Harry to fatherhood, but
we're learning. If you're not laughing, you're learning. I think
my dad did used to point a 44 Magnum to my head.
Make my day, punk. Do you feel lucky?
Yeah. I suppose there are correlations.
Yeah. So then what's your next item on your list of tiny joys, sir?
My next item is numbers.
Ah.
I don't know how much of a font of good comedic content this is, but I I've just noticed recently, and I'm not like spiritual in any way, shape, or form. Okay, I was brought up Catholic, and I got that. You know, I'm fully out of that system now, so I've got no spirituality. But I do find that it's weird. Every time I look at my phone, it feels like the time is always 4:19.
Ah.
Like I feel like that number, then I don't know if it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy of like I always look at it because it sticks out to me because like, almost 4:20, nice. And it just feels like every day when I decide to like look at the time, it's 4:19.
4:19.
I mean, not obviously not every time I look at my phone, it's 4:19, but I feel like every day
it happens enough that you notice it, kind of thing.
Yeah, but then again, I don't know if it's because I've noticed it once that it sticks out. Maybe, it's now 11:57. Maybe that time comes up a lot as well, but I don't think about it.
Well, wasn't there a song, it's 11:57 and I'm running out of time? Something, it might have been like Simple Plan or something.
It's Elemental P.
Elemental P. Yeah,
New Zealand band.
Yes.
Which, when I first visited New Zealand, when I was 12 years old, I bought both their albums because I thought they were incredible.
Yeah.
And then they never really did anything since then, except for some very overpriced shows a few years ago. I did not go to because they were like $80.
Yeah, that's a bit steep. With the numbers thing, have you noticed this 4:19 popping up elsewhere in your life, or does it feel like it's just limited to your phone?
I mean, clocks in general. I wouldn't say just my phone, but not in any other system, And then sometimes I might try and artificially make numbers as well. Like when I'm at the petrol pump, I always try and make it. And I think they've got a system where it's impossible to get $69.69. Do it. I've tried every single time I try, and it always goes over to like 69, 70, 71. Like it never lets me get 69, 69.
You're trying to get 69, 69. Now you know that anyone that hears this is going to try. When I fill my car up tomorrow, I'm gonna try getting 69, 69.
If you can do it on the dot and don't cheat and don't type it in and then have that. No, you got it. You got to do it. You got to do it pure grip alone.
Yeah, no performance enhancers, no targeting computers. It's got to be genuine.
If you get it first time, I will transfer you $69.69.
Okay, you heard it here, folks. The first ever gentleman's agreement on Ruddle Me This.
Yeah, one-time offer, by the way. It doesn't extend to every time, so you get.
That's understandable. That's understandable. Yeah, I see you've had dealings with genies before.
Many.
What is that thing? The monkey's paw, where you have to be very specific, otherwise you get the it'll grant your wish, but to your own detriment, kind of thing.
So you get $1 million, but it's all in pennies there.
Exactly. Okay, so what was your next tiny joy?
My next tiny joy is overanalyzing films.
Oh, okay. Do you have a particular film that you like to look at, or is it anyone that you see, like every time you see a film, you do this? What are your criteria for it?
I feel like I pick up plot holes.
And
I kind of spiral on that, and then I
that sets you off.
The film for me, yeah. Like, for example, softball to start with for you. Mm-hmm. Gremlins. We're familiar with the Gremlins.
Yep.
Movies. The Mogwai, the little gizmo fella.
Yep.
We all know the rules, right? Avoid sunlight. Don't get it wet. Don't feed it after midnight. What time can you feed it from?
Yeah, that's true.
It's always after midnight.
Yeah.
And can you feed them? Is it sun up? Don't say it. Like the rules are very ambiguous.
Yeah, that feels like you're set up in a lose-lose kind of situation there, aren't you?
Exactly. Also, how does he bathe? He must stink.
Yeah. Maybe it's like cats. Maybe they clean themselves.
But cats got saliva.
Yeah. Wet. I guess that does count as getting wet, doesn't it? Yeah. Did Mogwais fuck? I don't know. I actually haven't seen it in you know, whenever it came out and to now.
Because when they turned to gremlin, they did have that one gremlin who was a lady gremlin.
Oh, there you go. Maybe that's how they reproduce then. I always
Maybe.
forget. Can they turn back into the little fairy friendly ones, or are they gremlins forever?
Well, it's the Mogwai doesn't turn into a gremlin. He like sprouts eggs once he
Maybe
gets wet.
maybe that's technically the way he reproduces then is
They're gremlins, not Mogwai.
that's true, yeah. So how do you make another Mogwai? That's the question.
Well, this is it. Join us next week on Taylor Ruddle's Mogwai Watch, where we're gonna delve into how Mogwais bone down.
Yeah, exactly. Are there any other films you've looked at in such a critical
So
lens?
So many. Toy Story.
Mhm.
Buzz Lightyear, when he gets unwrapped, he's convinced that he is Buzz Lightyear, space cadet.
Yeah.
Right. But and they're like, you are a toy. They cannot convince him that he's a toy, right?
Yeah.
Andy walks in the room. All the toys freeze up, pretend they're toys. So does Buzz.
Ah,
Why does he do that if he doesn't think he's a toy?
man. That is some who was the philosopher that believes that we're all that said it was possible? The one that said, I think, therefore I am. Was that like Nietzsche, or was that even fit like Aristotle, that kind of era?
I think that was Dr. Dre, but yeah.
The great philosopher of our time.
Continue. Yes.
Well, yeah, that whole idea of like our, our bodies could be real, but our mind is trapped. I think it was essentially the Matrix, but he referred to it as being like ensnared by the spell of a demon or something. It was the old timey version of the Matrix. And I wonder if there's some kind of, what did you say?
He said he's also dated a Latin American. Married by a demon.
But yeah, maybe there's some kind of like, because my theory with the toys from Toy Story is, are they robots, or are they like what animates them? Do you know what I mean?
Well, that was interesting because very interesting you should say that, Taylor, because actually in Toy Story 4, when they created Spoonie, a spork, and it was a spork that the girl had like put googly eyes on and little arms, and then he became alive because he's now a toy.
So that means
some kind of curse in the Toy Story universe that makes all toys sentient creatures. A truly horrific existence, if you were to ask me, because they could be easily pulled apart, fall apart, and yet they still live. When does a toy die?
Yeah, because it's almost like voodoo or something, isn't it? Like it's a humans make it real. It's like I've heard explanations for gods in certain fantasy novels that are their strength is tied to how many people believe in them. And
exactly.
I feel like that's a similar thing that's going on there with the toys, is that if humans make them real or sentient, then like you say, when does that go away? Is that a one-time like, oh, you're sentient now, welcome to a life of pain and fear?
Well, like, Sid used in the first one, he would take toys apart and meld them together to create horrific hybrid beasts. Where is the toy's brain? Is it in the toy's head? They don't have a physical brain, so then is the brain in their legs?
This movie takes on a lot more sinister of a tone when you actually break it down like this.
Exactly, man. I'm just saying, gotta analyze these things. Another one for you.
Yep.
Cinderella.
Mm-hmm.
Classic story.
Mm-hmm.
Fairy godmother grants her a wish, gives her, a nice dress, shoes, pumpkin turns into a big carriage and stuff. Doesn't actually give her anything useful.
Just gives her some drip.
Yeah, just gives her, to be fair, outrageous drip. Like,
I got that Cinderella drip.
Actually, I take it back. Cinderella was class. The drip is undeniable. Let's strike that one from the list.
We should call her Rizzarella.
Rizzarella, Cinderella. Star Wars. Okay, start of the film. Luke Skywalker is in his little desert village.
Yeah,
with his aunt and uncle, hiding from the Empire, right? Because as we now know, spoiler alert, everybody, his dad is Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
Anakin Skywalker. If you were hiding from the most dangerous man in the universe, why would you keep the last name Skywalker? He's still called Skywalker.
It'd be almost the modern day equivalent of like going into hiding, but you kept the last name Hitler, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like what's his face? Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Mm-hmm.
He had to go into witness protection because he rat out the Bloods / Crips.
Yeah.
Right? The man's got 69 tattooed all over his face. He's got rainbow colored hair and gold teeth. He's not going incognito.
Yeah. He's not going to blend in.
Exactly. I've always said it. Tekashi 6ix9ine is the Luke Skywalker of modern rap.
I never thought of that, but why would they keep the last name? That is hilarious.
That's foolish.
The guy who genocided a bunch of children.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Good films for me.
So what was your next tiny joy there?
Misheard / misunderstood lyrics.
Oh, yep. Is this I imagine, given that you're a musician, you could probably take a little bit of creative freedom here and you could sing the lyrics that you feel like were in the spot, that you misheard them in?
I mean, it's more the fact that now I'm doing it. I'm doing like a lot of cover songs that I over some of the music, I guess I overanalyze.
Yeah.
I'm listening and I'm I've got friends of mine, people I know who, and I've never understood this. They love music, but they don't listen to the lyrics.
No one does.
It's weird. Like, and then they wouldn't be able to sing along to the song, or would they? That's just not how my brain works. Like when I listen to a song, like I listen to the lyrics first.
Well, you're like Patrick Bateman with Garbage Strand or whatever.
I wasn't going to go that far, but sure.
Well, when he's like, most people don't listen to the lyrics, but they should, because it's a, statement on post, whatever modernism. You know that scene I'm talking about?
I am like Patrick Bateman, you're right.
I'm very glad that we're recording this remote now.
Yeah.
Hey, Ruddle, do you like Huey Lewis in the news?
Yeah, it's let me get my raincoat.
Is that a raincoat, Sean?
Is that a raincoat? You're happy to see me. Do you know Bruce Springsteen?
Yes, not personally, but yeah.
Oh well, you should. He's a nice guy.
Oh, nice.
A song called "I'm on Fire."
Mm-hmm.
You know the song?
I think so.
It's a beautiful song. It's like, hey little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone? I got a bad desire. Those lyrics are fucking weird.
That is very sinister now that I hear you say them just like that.
Hey little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone? I have a bad desire. Hey Bruce. Hey Bruce. You talk about, dude? You talk about, fella?
Yeah. I had to get rid of a Bad Religion song because the lyrics were something like she was a girl on the scene, she was barely a teen, and I was like, oh, I don't want to play that while I'm in the car. I don't need that lyric in my life.
It's like that's like the song My Sharona.
Yeah.
Always get it up for a touch of the younger kind. Hey.
Oh, no.
Hey guys, what are we doing here?
Yeah. I think a lot of old music, there was a lot of very questionable lyrics that people, like you say, people didn't. I mean, Patrick Bateman's right. People should listen to the lyrics.
Yeah. Meatloaf had a song where it's like, we were barely 17 and she was barely dressed. Talking about fucking. I mean,
if you're both 17, I think the law doesn't mind that as much. But
you can't be fondly reminiscing,
my life peaked then.
Yeah.
You're in your 40s. You're like,
go back in time and be 16 and naked again. Like you can't do that. Meat.
You've convinced me. I think that's.
Also, you can't call yourself Meatloaf.
I always wondered where that name came from. Did he ever explain why?
Oh, I'm sure he tried. There's no good explanation for that.
Yeah, I think it's a hard sell.
Would you ever have a stage name?
I thought about it. I sometimes regret not using one, but at the same time, I've been told that my like government name is a very good name for entertainment. So I guess I sort of lucked out there.
You could have it like the Ruddler.
Yeah.
Wear a green suit with like a lot of T's all over it.
Yes, I think if my intro or my outro for this podcast is still the same, I've got a pre-recorded one. It says Ruddler over and out at the end of that. So yes, I definitely do use the Ruddler as my one.
You could, yeah, nice. You could, I was wondering, you could do like we could workshop some new intros for you. I think
I've got here. This is great.
Train by day, Taylor Ruddle podcast by night, all day.
I've still got this Taystation hoodie. That was you that gave me Taystation. I think I had my name initially as just Taylor Ruddle in this logo, but you commented Taystation, and I was like, I cannot believe I didn't think of that.
You're welcome, brother. You're welcome.
The check's in the mail, by the way.
I am quite funny actually when doing music.
Mm-hmm.
In Queenstown, Wanaka, we've got a lot of expats doing music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Expats, by the way, is just white immigrants.
It is, yeah.
We've incorporated for exclusively white immigrants.
Yeah, you wouldn't, yeah.
But yeah, we a lot of the people who do music, they have stage names because they don't have like the right visa to do it. So when they put their name out there on posters. So that's a top tip. If anyone ever uses a stage name, it's because they're not claiming taxes.
Check their visa status.
Check their hard drive.
Wow. Have you ever considered, I mean, I assume your visa status is all good because you've been here for a minute, but did you ever consider using a stage name?
No. Well, my name already is ridiculous enough as it is. So my government legal name is Seán Michael Tinker. My first name, Sean, S-E-A-N, was my mother's choice because she really fancied the actor Sean Connery.
Nice.
My dad didn't love that. So he's like, yeah, all right, but can we have the middle name Michael? And my mom was like, oh, that's got a nice ring to it, Shawn Michael.
It does.
My dad did, because he fucking loved the wrestler, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. I was gonna mention that, but you got to it before I could. HBK.
and then Tinker is an Irish type of traveler.
Mm-hmm. I've been watching Peaky Blinders and have been very surprised at the level of racism towards the Romani in that show.
Indeed.
Is that because your family comes from that, or is it just sort of a naming?
My dad's side, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and it's still a derogatory term even in Ireland now, because a tinker would be okay. So if you were a lady of the night, Taylor, I want you to just imagine that for a second.
Not a big stretch to imagine that. So
we'll let the viewers imagine that as well. And if you were, I'm trying to put this as politely as I can, in between clients, you didn't have a long time to wash yourself down.
Yeah,
you just sink and do the essentials.
Yeah,
some places would call that, amongst other things, a whore's bath.
Mm-hmm.
In Ireland, it is referred to as a tinker shower.
Wow.
So not a positive name. And I have actually had Irish people ask me if it is a stage name. So
they think you're like stealing valor.
I mean, it'd be like if you called yourself like Taylor Bogan or Johnny Invercargill.
Well, someone did suggest that if I ever did boylesque, I should call myself Bulk Bogan.
Bogan is a pretty good name, brother. There
is a wrestler up here in Christchurch for a company called Unified Championship Wrestling. It's like our little local thing. His wrestling name is genuinely Bogan Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's just, I don't have anything to add to that. Just, that's his character. Is like, he's just a Bogan guy with long hair, and he seems to sell t-shirts very well. So I guess, good on him.
Yeah.
So we got about 7 minutes left. Have you got any joys left on your list?
Oh, I mean, if I say no, that sounds really depressing, doesn't it?
I am all out of joy.
Any more joy?
Well, I just wasn't sure if we'd gotten to the end of your list or not.
No, I mean, I think we had, but yeah, well, let's workshop a joy together really quickly.
Okay.
What are your joys, Taylor?
I have got a little list of stuff that I've been keeping for just an occasion. I will just quickly bring it up on my Google Drive. So one of my tiny joys. Okay, that opened the wrong page. Great. We are full of professionalism here. One of my tiny joys. So this is a real addict thing. Actually, let's talk about this one because you're sort of in the biz of this right now. But I've just recently been going back and beating video games that I couldn't beat as a kid, and sort of finally getting satisfaction off of those. Were you much into what's that?
Have you finally beaten Tetris? Is that what you're going to say?
I don't think I could beat Tetris if I tried. That game is, I think it's, you've got to get to stage 999 or something, and then the game just starts glitching, and I think that's the end, right?
Yeah, you don't win, you just break it. Yeah.
That's a good metaphor for life, isn't it?
Yeah, a sad one.
Yeah,
you just got to pile those bricks on each other.
keep stacking, bro, and eventually
it becomes too much. It's like that art exhibition where it was you ever see that the big mechanical arm that would like
trying to scoop the fluid back into itself?
Yeah, but then it was dancing in between it. And then the more it danced, the more fluid came out. So it was a metaphor for like you're putting too much of yourself out there and not spending enough time trying to recoup yourself or something. It's
it was I felt so bad for that robot because I think eventually it couldn't keep up with how much was leaking out or something, and it was just weakly trying to scoop fluid. No, that I think once AI properly becomes a thing, it's just going to show us a photo of that and be like, what was this all about, huh? That's funny to you?
Yeah. It's going to somehow just generate a middle finger and just. What was your question about video games? Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, are you do you play many video games, anything like that?
Bits here and there, got a PlayStation 5 at the moment. Was playing like a Baldur's Gate, which is like a RPG Dungeons and Dragons type game, which wouldn't normally be my thing, but I like a good story in games. I'm not one for online shooters because I'm not good enough and can't handle racist teenagers.
You just get rinsed by people. I used to be like that with tech, and I would log in to play online, and then it's that whole thing of, you get home from your stressful job and you think, I'll just unwind a little bit by playing a video game that I enjoy, and then you just get decimated by the 13-year-olds who have been sitting there all day playing.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that as well. I got Mortal Kombat. And then, nothing like unwinding from a busy day at work than being called the N-word by a 12-year-old in Dallas, Texas.
And then getting your character's head ripped off and eviscerated.
Yeah.
Well, this has been forgive the pun, but this has been a joy chatting to you about this, Seán. Once again, where can the people out there find out? Where can they follow you online?
Seán Michael 101 on Instagram, and that's about my only online presence at the moment.
Man, I wish I could get away with just having one. I've got that gambler's mentality of like, if I get rid of Facebook, then that's the one that's gonna. I'm going to really feel it kind of thing. But no,
I'm on Facebook, but that's just for, for friends.
Not a business one. Yeah.
Not a business one. So stay off it.
Do you have any weekly gigs down in Queenstown you could sort of plug for the people out there?
Oh, music wise, it kind of varies really. I mean, I post all my gigs on my Instagram. So that's probably the best way to keep it. If people for some reason do want to see me play music live.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you put a lot of thought into it in terms of structuring what you actually put on instead of just sort of being a human jukebox.
Well, that's laziness. It just means I don't have to do it as often.
No, but that's all part of the live experience, come out and see a person live and then
exactly
you get the live thing. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining me, bro. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll bump into each other somewhere down the line.
Fingers crossed.